Hello from Katowice at COP24, where I'm joined by Dominika Rosolowska, who is part of the team dealing with green bonds at the European Investment Bank. Hello, Dominika.
Hello, Shiri.
Nice to see you. And tell me, why is the team here from the European Investment Bank in charge of the green bonds at COP24?
Yes, so the key topic of this particular COP, and I suppose of the COPs before as well, is how do we finance climate action. So obviously there's a huge demand for resources, and these resources need to be found. They are found in capital markets, in mainstream capital markets, and green bonds are part of the solution here.
Absolutely. And of course, more than 10 years ago, the EIB pioneered the green bonds. For those who are watching who don't know what a green bond is, can you give us a little simple explanation?
Yeah, sure. So green bonds are really a very simple instrument in the sense that they are just like other bonds that are issued in the market. The only difference is that the monies that are raised from these bonds go to specific type of projects. So like environmental projects or climate projects, as in EIB's case.
So give me an example of the kinds of projects that might be paid for through the green bonds.
Yes, sure. So in EIB's case, the money that we raise from the climate awareness bonds, so EIB's green bonds, are, for instance, wind farms or energy efficiency projects in industry or in buildings, those type of projects.
So these are obviously just the kinds of projects that are needed in order to lower the world's temperatures, or at least to stop them getting even higher. And you said that actually the green bond that the EIB has is called the Climate Awareness Bond. So does awareness play a part in this whole thing?
Yeah, sure. So awareness actually is key, and this is how. So we have climate awareness bonds and sustainability awareness bonds. These are the two kind of sibling products that we have on the funding side of the EIB. And awareness is important for us because actually what these bonds do is have investors actually ask the right questions. So what is green? How do you measure the impact of your projects? How do you report on whatever you finance? So they provide a transparency as to what is actually done in practice on the ground with the projects themselves.
Which is absolutely vital because, of course, there is this phrase, isn't there, greenwashing, where, people are rightly asking the questions. How do I know if the project that I'm financing is actually green? And that's an important issue, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So how do you measure? How do you report? You see, there is actually quite little agreement in the market as how to do that. But just because you have investors, you have people asking those questions, you see some, convergence, harmonization going on. And the delivery of this information to investors gets, more transparent, more accountable and more understandable.
And I guess in the end, it means more people are willing to invest in green projects with green bonds. Now, I want to ask you just briefly, you mentioned this idea of a sustainability awareness bond. Now, what's that all about?
Yes, so we started with the climate awareness bonds, with the monies raised from these bonds allocated to climate projects. Now, sustainability is a broader concept, so it goes to broader environment, it goes into social objectives. And you now have, at the European level, actually, the European Commission that is working on defining what sustainability actually means, what green means. And we have, at the EIB, just this year, a couple of months ago, issued our first sustainability awareness bonds, which complements the climate awareness bond, but with allocations of funds to projects other than climate.
So what kind of things?
Like, for instance, we focus on the water projects. So outside from renewable energy efficiency, water projects like desalination plants, like access to water on the social side, disaster risk management, as in, climate adaptation.
Key areas, basically.
Key areas.
And it's all about the sustainability and the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals as well, of course, isn't it?
That is also true. So the UN Sustainable Development Goals also come into play, as in we will report so after the allocation, how the projects that received funds from our sustainability awareness bonds contribute to those SDGs.
So we actually want to see some impact, and that's the important thing.
Substantial contributions, yeah.
Okay, well, that's great. Thank you very much, Dominika.
Thank you very much.
And that's all from us at COP24. We'll be back very soon to talk about more important issues on how we're going to save the planet.